Hey, good morning everyone. Today we are in the 2019 Volvo XC40. This is the T5 all-wheel drive Momentum version. Basically the fully loaded XC40 that you can buy right now. They're going to be coming out with front-wheel drive variants in the future, but right now you can get this all-wheel drive, and I must say it is a great little car. There's a lot that I like about this. A few things that I'm a little bit hesitant on, but I think really this is a fantastic package for the price. This particular car starts at around, I believe, 35 grand, 35,200, and the total MSRP on this is 44,315. It's got the Vision package, Premium package, Advanced package, pretty much fully loaded. It's got some great stuff in it. I like what they've done with the XC40 by creating some neat little storage solutions, by not including door speakers, and putting kind of a center unit here up in the dashboard. It makes for a really good sound experience, and this Harman Kardon system sounds really good, and you get a little bit more storage in the side. I believe that was designed so that you could fit a 15-inch laptop in the door. You also have some neat things like this hook here in the glove box where you can hang bags, purse, what have you. You've got some wireless charging here, as well as some cup holders, and just, it's a nice, airy, open feeling cabin, and everything in here is really nice quality to the touch and feel. And as we get on the road, we'll tell you a little bit more about what this car's like to drive too. So for now though, let's take a look outside and see what this thing looks like. At first I wasn't quite sold on this color combination, but it's grown on me. I kind of like it now. It's got this color matched roof, mirrors, wheels, and this kind of funky blue. I'm getting some surfer vibes from this. It looked really good with a cool roof rack and some wooden vintage surfboards on top. I mean, what do you think? I think that'd be awesome. I love the headlights in this. I like the grille. I think overall this is a little bit of a funky shape, but there's some really neat little design elements that make this a cool car, especially this little rubber Swedish flag in the front fender. I love that. The door handles are cool. There's all these neat little details in the headlights and just all throughout the car. It's a pretty neat design. Let's take a look in the back here. I'm not terribly sure how well this white fabric here will age over time, but I think as long as an owner, as you keep it clean, should be okay. You've got rear folding headrests, so you can get a little more visibility, and a pretty decent amount of back seat room. It feels good back here. There's tons of headroom, and plenty of space to kind of stretch out and be comfortable. I don't feel tight or cramped in here like some Volvos of old, and I love this panoramic sunroof. You can really see a lot, and it's overall a really beautiful interior inside here. A couple cup holders back here as well. In the trunk, there's some neat little features. Went over this in my last video, but just for fun, let's do it again. So you can store your cargo tray cover under here, which fits in there perfectly. And you've got these little grocery bag hooks here, as well as an area to kind of separate things in the trunk. These seats fold down pretty easy and quickly with the touch of a button here. We'll show that. It makes for a ton of space in the back, which is pretty cool. Got a button here to lock and close the trunk, and just a really nice lay flat rear cargo area. Put mountain bikes, put other things back there. You've got a lot of room. It's pretty neat. I know earlier this week I was moving a bunch of things, and it was very useful to just have that space. I think this is a pretty good sized vehicle too. It's small enough to be kind of agile and nimble on the road, but at the same time, it's got a little bit of ground clearance. It's all-wheel drive. It's probably gonna have pretty good manners in the snow, and it drives pretty well on the road. Let's go check that out. Nice little detail here on the side turn signal indicator. You've got a Volvo symbol. I didn't notice that before. That's pretty neat. One of my complaints is right after starting up this car, it sometimes takes a little bit longer for the reverse camera to just kick in, like on the order of 5 to 10 seconds. And if you're ready to just get in and go, you may not have your reverse camera as quickly as you would like it. That said though, it's a nice little system. You've got this 360 view. You can select right side, left side, front cameras pretty easily. It's decently responsive. And there's a little bit of distortion, but you can definitely see what you need to. It's pretty much a 180-degree view. You've got a little bit of a blind spot there on the C-pillar, but otherwise, pretty good visibility out of this XC40. Luckily, though, you have blind spot monitoring in the mirrors, and really shouldn't have any trouble seeing traffic that's next to you. We have the same kind of driving feel as the rest of the Volvo lineup in this XC40. Steering is light, the controls are responsive, everything is nice, feels high quality. There's a really good kind of touch and tactility to everything. One of the most impressive things I found about this car when I first got into one was that it really feels like they haven't skimped on quality compared to the rest of the Volvo lineup in cars that cost $20,000-$30,000 more than this. It's not something that can necessarily be said for other manufacturers when they build these smaller crossovers, CUVs, and but this definitely feels like a luxury item. And for the price, I don't think you can get into something that feels this premium for less. There's no shakes and rattles, no funky noises, it rides really well. In some instances, I would almost say that this has better NVH and less cabin intrusion over bumps than some of Volvo's newer models like the V90, stuff like that. I drove a V90 with air suspension a couple weeks ago and it was a little bit loud over some bumps. Really nice brakes there. Predictable neutral handling with just a little bit of understeer at the limit. This is the all-wheel drive, so it's not going to be as playful as maybe the front-wheel drive variant that'll come out later, but it has nice sharp turn-in and really pretty good dynamics for what it is. Decent turning radius as well. This is just kind of, it's got a good footprint on the road. It's the right size. It's not too big, but you're still high up and have good visibility around you. And it's still small enough to have a little bit of fun with. Speaking of which, let's throw it into dynamic high performance mode. Put down your right foot and all you hear is just a whoosh of air. Lots of boost. This T5 makes 248 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. That's pretty responsive. Actually works quite well. Decent cornering speeds around this entrance ramp. And I like how quickly the speedometer updates your speed. It's not skipping miles per hour, it's instant. That's always kind of a neat feature. Let's talk a little bit about cruise control and pilot assist. So super easy to engage cruise control. You just press this button right here and you press over to engage pilot assist, which will do some steering for you. I'm not sure, yeah, here we go. Let's put it back into comfort mode. and it works really well. Sometimes when there's an entrance ramp and the road veers this way, you'll need to give it a little bit of a nudge to keep it on this straight path, but it's a very, very good system. You can see there it just wanted to go a little bit to the right, so you gotta pay attention. You have to keep an eye on it. It's not a completely autonomous system, but it does a really good job for when you need to reach over here and take your eyes off the road for a minute to adjust something in the infotainment or change a setting or what have you. Really easy to disengage, and the radar guided cruise control works really well too. It seems to maintain decent following distances, and you can quickly change your speed by 5 mile-an-hour increments by just pressing up and down, and you can do 1 mile increments by holding, and it's just a nice intuitive system. I would say the ergonomics and just overall use of everything in this car is nicely laid out. I'm still kind of getting used to this touchscreen. It's better, it's a little bit more responsive. There's still, it's still funky. I'd like to have some redundancy with buttons, especially with the climate control. But I think it does a pretty good job. And this pilot assist is here to assist in you not crashing in the event that you need to change something and take your eyes off the road for a few seconds. This car seems to be pretty fuel efficient as well. I haven't been the lightest on the accelerator pedal this week, and I was doing about a 30-mile drive the other day and averaged around 26 miles to the gallon between some mixed city highway driving, and it seems like you could pretty easily match the EPA numbers for this car. Like I said earlier, we've got some big bumps here. Very little cabin intrusion over bumps. Really nice NVH over rougher roads. Is that a GT3? I believe it is. Very nice. And that's something that I had a little bit of a complaint with the last V90 that I drove. It was on air suspension. It was a little bit rougher, a little bit noisier over bumps than I would have liked. This is actually an improvement over that. At highway speeds, it seems pretty quiet. Not a lot of wind noise. Of course, I have the rear seats down and the hatch down, and there's a little bit more cabin intrusion from that, but it's really pretty quiet in here, pretty nice, and this is a very, very comfortable car to drive in. These seats are very good. They're not quite the magical inscription seats from some of the other Volvo lineup, but they're still very comfortable, and they keep you in place pretty well too. Brakes are nice and powerful, pretty decent bite. One thing that you probably can't notice in daylight, though, is when you're turning right, you've got your signal on, you're turning left, one of the fog lights will turn on so that you can kind of see where you're about to turn, and it's almost like it's an assist to the already automatic turning headlights, which is pretty cool. Neat little feature that you get at night, and makes for just a little bit more of a enjoyable driving experience. I really like this car. This is actually something I would consider owning someday. Probably not in this color, but I still kind of like it. Maybe they'll come out with a funky blue and yellow with a Swedish flag on the roof. I don't know. But I really do like this XC40. It's a great little family car. I think it really appeals to its intended demographic, which are younger families, younger individuals. We're looking for something safe, but also fun and funky and cool, and it seems to check all the boxes that it is intended for. So props to Volvo for making just a really nice car with some cool little intuitive interior features, and I'm pretty impressed with this. It's very nice. I'll let you know what my feelings are by the end of the week, but the more I drive it, the more I enjoy it, and my girlfriend likes it too. So I think it's a nice overall package. Anyway, guys, that's all for this one. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. We will see you guys in another video. Probably later this week, I'll wrap up my thoughts on this car. But I don't know, honestly, I kind of got out everything I needed to say about this. It's this XC40 is really nice. There really aren't a lot of compromises. No major complaints with it. Looking forward to driving the front-wheel drive variants. Recently, Volvo's front-wheel drive cars, I drove an XC40 that was a T8, and it wasn't front-wheel drive, but it was very front-wheel drive biased, and it was awesome. It had insane amounts of power, and I feel like a front-wheel drive version of this would be pretty fun, just because you've got a little bit more responsiveness and power to put down from the transmission. It's not an all-wheel drive system, and it might be a little bit more playful around the corners. I think that may be what I would eventually go for, but for now, this all-wheel drive car is pretty darn good. It doesn't feel weighed down by its system, and it's still nimble and fun to drive, but at the same time, reasonably priced. So, all right, guys, that wraps it up for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Take care.